Before the 16th century, Hungary's constitution was unwritten. Their laws are based on customary law. Customary law meant that it was based on traditional beliefs rather than a written code. There was still not a written constitution during the Austro-Hungarian Empire between 1867 and 1918. Instead, lawyers relied on something called the Corpus Juris Hungarisi, which was an unofficial collection of Hungarian legal statutes dating back to the 16th century. These documents were also used by Roman Catholic bishops. Corpus Juris Hungarisi was made up of two parts. The first contained statutes from AD 1000, and the second part contained statutes from 1867. It was created by individuals, judges, and lawyers who privately gathered together to compile these different statutes. The courts and government were never consulted, and therefore it was considered unofficial. During World War I, Austria adopted a written constitution for themselves, but Hungary didn't follow this and continued to use their historical unwritten constitution. Between World War I and World War II, the unwritten constitution was still heavily supported, and the crown was still seen as a figure that represented the unity of the nation. It was seen as a kingdom with the crown ruling. Again, this is all still unofficial. In 1945, Hungary finally came up with their first written constitution, known as the Little Constitution, which formed a new regulatory structure. This made things more democratic and less like a traditional kingdom. And it was official! However, this little constitution was rather short-lived. In 1949, Hungary fell under the influence of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union replaced the Little Constitution with their 1936 Soviet Constitution, which was, surprise, surprise, a communist constitution. In 1989, with the fall of the Soviet Union, an amendment came into force that introduced a new parliamentary democracy to Hungary. The new parliamentary democracy was similar to what we have in Canada, including the same three branches of government: judicial, legislative, and executive. In 1990, the first freely elected parliament rewrote the constitution in over 50 instances. Some of the amendments included dealing with fundamental rights and constitutional statutes, procedures for elections, and powers of parliament. Arpad Gonch was the president at the time. Since then, more and more efforts have been made to refine and reform the constitution and other branches of the legal system in order to build a legal structure that works for their country. Currently, Hungary's legal system is based on fundamental law, which means they now have an official, enforceable, written constitution. Hungary uses a civil law system, which means all the law is codified and judgments are made following those codes rather than past cases, known as precedents. Hungary's civil law system is unlike Canada's common law system, which relies on a combination of written law and case law. The case law works to interpret and change the written law. Hungary works on a 4-level legal system. The system includes the Curia, which is the principal judicial organ, the regional courts of appeal, the regional courts, and the district courts. The Curia guarantees the uniform application of law. The decisions of the Curia on uniform jurisdiction are binding for other courts, and the court consists of 91 judges. Some of the responsibilities of the Curia include examining appeals submitted against the decisions of the regional courts and the regional courts of appeal, reviewing final decisions, making decisions which are binding for all other courts and ensuring uniformity in those decisions, analyzing final decisions to examine and explore judicial practice, publishing decisions on principles, passing decisions in cases where local government decrees violate legal rules. There are 5 regional courts of appeal with a total of 165 judges. There are also 20 regional courts whose responsibility it is to hear cases in the first instance. There is also the Constitutional Court. This court is entirely independent from a general court system and is composed of 15 judges. The members elect the president of the court, and they pass on the constitutionality of laws, and there is no right of appeal on these decisions. They are the main body for the protection of the Constitution. We hope you've enjoyed briefly learning about the legal progression of Hungary throughout the years. For more information, please feel free to visit the Hungarian Constitutional Court website, which includes the full version of Hungary's current constitution and laws.